Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to this show today, and this is about past lives. And I want to talk in particular about a period going back probably nearly 3 millennia. How do we go about past lives? I went to a therapist and she used a thing called QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And they put you under a very gentle hypnosis. So you're aware of your surroundings. You can look around you, you can see your therapist sitting there, you can see the room, you can point things out. There's nothing hidden there. I close my eyes and then I get a better visual. But the amount of detail that you get is quite spectacular. So I'm going to describe it. It was recorded and I will talk through as I was speaking it. And there are interjections that the therapist made, so I will put those in as well. So this is how it starts. It's quite dark. I think it's night time. I am outside on a battlement and I think this is Greece. It is warm. I don't feel cold. And I'm standing on an escarpment, a huge rock overlooking a flat land in front of me. I am male and I am wearing a helmet, and the helmet seems to go down the back of my neck and it feels like it's in two parts. I'm also wearing a skirt, a leather skirt, and it looks like it has feathers going down the front, leather feathers, all cut out of leather coming down the front of it. I have what looks like bindings going up my legs, sandals and bindings. I also have leather patch on each arm, on the forearm. And I look at my hands. I have male hands, but they're youngish hands. And I'm asked at this point by the therapist, "What is your name?" Now, once I find what my name is, it takes me a while to pronounce it because it's not a name we come across. And once I find that name, I really step into that person. So she says, "What is your name?" And I step forward and I say, "My name is Aramisius. I am Greek. I am Hellenic. And it's important to me because of Helen. She is our leader. She is like a king, but she's not called a king. And we are fighting for her. We have fought and we have won many battles. We are fighting the Turks. We are under siege at the moment and we have to protect this piece of rock because the rock has the height advantage. It's high up and it's a good defensive point. I can see over the plains, which is a long way below. It's like a sheer cliff and I can see the striations of the rocks. The sea is way in the distance. It's twinkling just in the last of the light of the day. And the land is flat. They are floodplains. And that's the direction that the Turks will come from. They will come from the sea. They kind of wear the same gear as we do. They wear the same clothes. They come from Turkish lands. And we have fought them for years. And they're also to my right and to my left. There is a line of soldiers as far as you can see, as far as the eye can see. We are all standing with torches high up on this escarpment. This is not my first battle. I have fought elsewhere. I have not met Helen. I have heard her speak. And I am waiting for the Turks. They will come. I hope not, but I know they will come. I would rather they did not. So now I'm being asked by the therapist to describe myself. So if you imagine, in my mind's eye, I am standing behind myself, who's sort of standing here, and I get this visual seeing what I look like from behind. So I have long blonde hair. I'm of average height. I'm stocky. I'm not tall. I'm not small. I do not have a family. I don't have a wife. I don't have any children. I don't have any parents. My parents have died. I do have a brother. He is also fighting. He is older than me. And I also think he has blonde hair. I think I have a younger brother too. I can't remember. It's a long time since I've seen them. The other soldiers up here, we depend on each other. We're good friends. We gamble together. We sometimes gamble and bet on fights between, say, prisoners, or between captured people or slaves. They're all in the main area, down in the land below. They're not up here. It's good when we have the fights, because it's like entertainment for us. We love to see it. We sing songs, we eat meat, and the women, they bring us our food. And there is a main camp that is way down, like I say, behind us, and that's where the women are. There are no women up here. I am on the frontier, and we are stretched right across this cliff, waiting and looking, on guard, because if they are coming at night, and I am as prepared as I can be. I have a sword, a big sword. I have a spear, and the spear has what looks like a blade that has a flame. The blade is shaped like a flame. I also have a shield that is on the ground beside me. The Turks, they have the same also. So at this point, the therapist asks me to move further forward in my life. And I see myself with my hand outstretched. And in my hands I see grains of sand pouring through my fingers. And I have big hands, and my hands are old, and I am much older. I look up, and on the wall in front of me I see an old man sitting. That's my brother. He was wounded. And I see his face has dropped on one side. His eyes are at different heights. I think he is blind. He has eye injuries. The scar looks quite old. It's not as I remember him. I didn't recognize him. He recognized me. He came to find me. I didn't know what he looked like. But the war has finished. We won. But it's a mess. And many people have died. Many cities, they're in ruins. It's a real mess. And the younger people, well, they're going to have to rebuild. I live in the rocks, in a cave, on the hillside. It's an opening in a cliff, and in the front I can see a fire, and it goes back a little way. It resembles a monastery. And I think there are lots of tunnels. It is our safe place. This is still our land in Greece. This is where people heal, and I am healing from war. I have seen many things. At this point, I look down, and it's a real shock, because my arm finishes there, and it's cut off at an angle. I have no hand, and that is a real shock. You don't expect to see it. But I must have lost it in battle. I did not marry. I cannot provide for a family. Without a hand, what could I do? So I live on this cliffside, in this monastery, with these religious types. I don't think that I work. I learn. And I'm learning teachings from oracles. and the oracles have fire in them, fire and oils. I'm being taught by an elderly man, and the oracle is a fire. It looks round. The old man, he tells me what the oracle says, and he sits to the left of the fire, to the left of the oracle, and I am kneeling in front of the oracle, facing it. He's translating and telling me what the stories are that it has to say. And it looks like a continual flame in a bowl. So the fire is in the middle of a bowl, or a crucible. That's what it is, a crucible. And below it is a well with oil in it, and I can see my reflection in the oil. It's teaching me, it's telling me what the fire and the oracle says. The oracle speaks to the old man, and he then speaks to me. It teaches me secrets, the secrets of unknown things, which need to be passed down through generations. So now at this point, I'm being asked to move forward to the end of my life. In front of me, I can see a tree. It's a tree trunk, and in the bark there is a face. It may be the tree of life, but the word I keep hearing is Akashic, Akashic. The tree is telling me the secrets of the Akashic records, and they reveal their information. And then it's like I'm going down a very long dark tunnel, an endless tunnel, passing over cities and buildings below me. The tunnel is black, and I am moving through at great speed, and I can never see what's ahead. The Akashic records, they're in the walls, they're in the floor, they're in the stone. But there are lots of faces, they're all peering out at me. They are sort of like totems, like spirals. And I understand this was my life. It is now my past life. I am passing. There are many faces, they come and they go. And I ask some to stop. Come forward and share your information. And they do. And that was the life and times of Arameses, the Greek warrior. What did you think? The detail is amazing. The colour you see, you get the time of night, you get the light, you get the sense of fear. When you're standing on the battlement, I could sense his apprehension and his fear. Also, at the end of it, I could sense the sadness and the tiredness after the battle. And the sadness at having missed all those years with a brother. It was a beautiful experience. And I will say that something that may come as a surprise to people, because you are a male in this life or a female in this life. I mean, I'm Sally in 2025, but you could be a male 3,000 years ago. And this was from that period, it was 3,000 years ago. That's hard to adjust to and accept. It also, you have to also understand that things will become immediately clear to you when you have done these past lives. You may have a longing to go to Egypt or to do ancient Greece, or you might want to have always been medical or a doctor or working with animals, and then you see the reasons why, because you've done these things before. You've had a learning and an understanding of these things before. Also, you have been things, you've had many, many lives, and you have been things that are living. So it doesn't always follow that you have been human. It doesn't always follow. You have to understand you may have been marine life, an animal, a bird, you may have been a tree, you may have been rocks. They're all living, they all grow. And we have learnt something from that experience, and that's what this is about. It's the the time that we have here, which is very short in the scheme of things, 70, 80 years, but we are to learn from that. And with that, thank you everybody. Thank you for joining me. And if you would like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. But I plan to do one of these past lives each month. At some stage each month I'll post one for you. And please comment in the comment box below. And if you have any experience, you can email me, thecrystalechoes@gmail.com. You can email me, you can tell me if you would like me to read out your past life experience. I'll be glad to do so. We can learn something from them. It expands our experience. It's all expansive. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.